Okay. Oh, good. Okay. So very briefly, I arrived in Saigon. Some people joining. So I arrived in Saigon 6 years ago. So for my first real job for a French company. And eventually there I met Lea, or Vietnamese name is Khanh Nguyen. So we met through a common friend, and yeah, our relationship slowly grew up until we decided to go for wedding. So that was the first big move for us. And yeah, we just to explain that this adventure was not at all something that I could imagine at the beginning we could do together, because on my family side, we are very much adventure people. My father, he will always push me to go to explore. We did a lot of bicycle, but on Leah's side, she was much more from a traditional family, I would say. So she's the last one of 4 daughters, and for parents, everything is a danger. So even now, every day they always say, be careful of this, be careful of that. So even more with COVID. So to go by bicycle, even for 1 kilometer, it was something completely, it's something they cannot even imagine, you know? So there was a big job also for us to convince them about that. And I was also very surprised when Lea, when I asked her, she wanted to go for the trip and explain, yeah, do you want to go from France to Vietnam? And she immediately said yes. I would expect some maybe questions or whatever, but nothing. So I was a bit shocked. And yeah, it was a kind of true kind of confidence. And yeah, I really appreciate that, even now that she jumped in without much questions and doubts. So yeah, I had to make of Lea, I would say, be able to go for the trip, and I will explain a bit about this later. And for us, yes, the idea was to go from France to Vietnam. And when I used to work in Saigon, I met this NGO called Poussières de Vie, or Dust of Life in English. And so they take care of kids who cannot go to school. Most of the time they are from poor family, or they don't have the right, permit or the authorization to live there, so they cannot go to school. So this NGO bring them for free to school. So with Lea, over the years, we sponsor a family for a few times. And every time I explain to them, yes, if you follow your dream, if you work seriously at school, then maybe eventually one day you can follow your dream. So the fact I was able to follow mine, really wanted to share with them. And as the director, he wanted to build a new school in Saigon, in District 12. I say, okay, so let's do a fundraising for the school. And this is how we set up this also charity project. So the idea was to raise $1 for 1 kilometer we would cycle. Yeah, just to see the progress of the donations and the kilometers. Yeah. So okay. So yeah, so that was the route. So from France to Vietnam, it changed quite a lot, because at the beginning we wanted to go through all the STAN countries like Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, China, but the fact is that the weather at the time, the winter came quite early. So, and we really at that time we were in Iran, and we really wanted to stay in Iran because, yeah, we'll explain later, but it was an amazing country to visit, and we didn't want to rush to go to China. How do you design the road like this? For sure, the visas. For Lea, she had the Vietnamese passport. So for some countries, it's not possible to go, or it's very complicated, like Russia, Turkey, you can only arrive by plane. So by bicycle is not very convenient. And And so that was the first point. So which countries where we could go? And the second one, it was really according to the weather. So we started in Europe at the end of winter and crossing through spring all Europe, and then arriving late, I would say late summer in this Caucasus, so Georgia, Azerbaijan, and then to enter in Iran in September, and as well to arrive in the end in Asia during winter time, so to have better temperature to cycle. So that was the idea, to go through the countries regarding visas and the weather. These are the 2 points. So after we had maybe a few months to train in Saigon, so we moved to District 7. So I remember after my job, we would cycle at night around 10 a.m., 10 p.m., 11 p.m. with Lea, or waking very early. And then we come back to France 6 weeks before the official departure. And there in France, we could train some more before the official start of the trip. So let me show you. So do you see all these 18 countries: France, Germany, Hungary, Bulgaria, Azerbaijan, Iran, India, even Vietnam. So according to you, from your own perspective, what would be the most challenging country to cycle in for you? What will be the most challenging one?
Can we see the list of the countries again?
Yeah, yes.
Probably the one you don't know.
Like Georgia.
India.
The one you can't read the sign.
For the language, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, just depending on you. Some people, they would be scared for India, for example, because of the crowds. Some about Iran, because yeah, sometimes they have some things they see in the media about Iran. Yeah, so for me, yeah, for us, the big piece of the cake was definitely Iran and India. Iran, because yeah, it's a country where, from the Western world perspective, especially in the news and also in Vietnam, you have a lot of, I would say, sometimes negative relating to war, Muslims, blah, blah, blah. So that was something that could scare us maybe at the beginning. But when we get so many information on the blogs that were so positive about Iran that we say, okay, we're gonna go. We will, for sure, we have to go through Iran. And also India, because India, especially northern India, when I check on travelers blog, especially bicycle, it's like the crowd is huge, and by bicycle you will be always a local attraction. So many people is very tiring, very demanding, challenging. So that was two countries we will be a bit worried at the beginning. So yeah, so we cycle all the way from France to Vietnam. And we just had, during this bicycle trip, we had just two different means of transportation. It was boat to cross the Black Sea, as you can see from the points 14 to 15 from Bulgaria to Georgia. Again, because Turkey, as I explained, is difficult to get the visa for Vietnamese passport. And as well, we didn't want to cycle through Pakistan, especially through Balochistan, which is in the south of Pakistan, because this region can be a bit dangerous. You will be escorted by military from the beginning to the end. And yeah, we didn't want to go through this kind of adventure in Pakistan. So yeah, we were, I was quite happy we managed to cycle all the way to cross all these borders, to link one country after one country. So the feeling is quite amazing. And it's really possible to put the bicycle in the plane. It's not that expensive. You just need to find a box, and for a few extra dollars, you will put it under the plane. So it's something you can really do if you want one day to travel this way. So these are two bicycles at the beginning. So on the left, the name is Monster, the bicycle of Lea, and on the right is Tank. So Monster on the left, because he has you cannot see it well here on the picture, but the handlebars are very special and designed for Lea, especially to release her back when she was cycling. So he had the kind of monster face, and mine tank because he was super strong from German brand. So you cannot break it down, cannot break down. So briefly, we have to take care all the equipment to be 100% autonomous. So the tent, sleeping bags, cooking stuff, repair gears, medical things, even the clothes. So yeah, basically you have to be 100% autonomous. So we spend a lot of time to select the right gears and the right stuff. So especially when you live for 1 year, it's not like a trip for 1 week. So you need to be sure that all the material you're gonna get is really strong, and that even in the middle of the snow or the desert, it will be there for you. So that's really important, because you cannot replace it for sure when you're in the middle of the desert in Iran, for example. So based on all what you have seen, can somebody guess how many kilos both of us had to carry with the bicycle included?
20.
20, okay. Anybody more or less?
40?
Sorry?
22.
40?
40? 40? Who says better?
20.
20. So with the bicycle included, so if you don't include, because sometimes we also to carry a lot of water and food, but Lea, she had to carry 32 kilograms with her bicycle, and me 36, and me 42. Yeah, a bit more. So that's fine when you go down, but when you go up, at the end of the day, you really feel it. So that's why you cannot bring basically everything. You need to find light stuff, strong, sustainable. So yeah, there is a big work to do for all the gear and the equipment. Yeah. So yeah, finally, almost a bit more than 2 years ago, we were able to start. So we start in my little town in Vendée, where my family lives in the west of France. And yeah, at the time it was big for sure emotions. The first day you don't feel really ready, you know, everybody is there, you say goodbye to your family, and then basically it's a bit, you just cycle to the east. You're gonna say every day I will wake up and cycle to the east for 1 year. So the feeling is quite strong and very powerful. You know, you realize you cannot go back. It's something I really remember, and Lea as well. So a lot of time people, they ask us, so, oh guys, how many kilometers did you cycle every day? What did you do? What's your planning? But basically the rule is that you have no rules, because by bicycle, you are, you know, as you cycle, you are 100% connected to the people, the weather, the environment where you cycle. So it depends on the road conditions, if it's mountains, if you're tired, if you can find some food. So every day is different, but every day so many stuff happening. That's something I really love about cycling. So many things happens when you cycle, many unexpected things, good and bad. So we cycled first in Europe, through France, Switzerland. I think it was really great to start in Europe, especially for Lea, for her to build the muscles and the experience. If we had started, for example, in Vietnam, and then I don't know, from Myanmar, India, it would have been more difficult. So it was good also for her and me as well, to build enough experience, strengths before going to more challenging countries. So yeah, during the day you have thousands of opportunities to stop, to see animals, to see beautiful landscape, nature. That's something I really love about cycling, is to go through the nature, and to enjoy this very strong link with nature, to wake up with the sun and to go to bed when it's sunset under your tent. We also had some snow in Switzerland in May, so that was a big surprise in the mountains, and it was the first time for Lea to see some snow. So it was also an amazing moment experience. But yeah, hopefully it only lasts maybe 1 or 2 days, so that was enough. Yeah, just to show you a bit video about the beautiful landscape in this was in France. So yeah, you have beautiful roads, sunlight, and especially after a climb, when you go down, the reward is amazing. Yeah, this is an amazing feeling. And yes, as I can say, you can stop anywhere you like to have a rest next to a river. Yeah, any place to cook is good, and that's why I love Sowi cycling, is that you burn so many calories that you can eat whatever you want. It's limitless. Also, you have some puncture. So yeah, what can you do against it? So during all the trip, I had only, I think, 3 or 4 punctures, and Lea, she got as well. Maybe she got 5 or 6. So for 16,000 kilometers, it's quite good, I think, in terms of puncture. And we have kept the same tires from the beginning to the end of the trip. So the tires we purchased were really strong and resistant. And sometimes you don't know. Sometimes like I was following my map, and sometimes you have to cross a river and you didn't plan to. And this time it was in Azerbaijan, so we could cross the river, then the second one, then the third one, because we felt at the beginning it would be a shortcut, but yeah, this one is Lea crossing the river in Azerbaijan. Okay. Can you hear me? Can you still hear me now? Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. 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 So we continue this way, and until we reached a point where there was no more. I mean, river. We could cross. We cycle, and it was impossible to cross it. The gap even come back all the way. So So basically, again, you got to plan 100 days when cycling. You have to adapt every day. Is my point. And also, yeah, although on the way you meet a lot of people, because on bicycle with all your luggage, especially with the Nón Lá hats behind, you will raise the attention of so many people on the road. So these kids were racing with us in Azerbaijan. The kids on the right were in Nepal. So yeah, especially when you cycle, you will cycle next to other people, and yeah, it's very nice feelings. And most of the time, the kids will try to race against you. And me, even if I'm tired, I need to win. So I was always racing with my bicycle against them, no matter what, you know. Anyway, and yeah, this feeling of nature. So yeah, just take a shower where you find a nice water stream, and the feeling is amazing. You just remove the sweat, the dust, and this is a big reward. So this is Lea. Every time we could find a nice water stream, we would take a shower. This on the top left, it was in Serbia, in Georgia, and the one at the bottom was in Laos. Yeah, no crocodiles, hopefully this time. And as well, your bicycle is becoming your little home, you know. So for example, Lea, she was using her handlebar when we were doing a laundry, for example, in the river. Then you use the handlebar to dry your clothes or your underwear sometimes. So you don't have to be shy on the road. And for me, the main point when you travel by bicycle is to meet people. For me, this is a reason, a way to meet amazing people. So a lot of people from the beginning to the end of the journey welcome us for free, for sure, into their home. You have an amazing website called warmshowers.com. So the warmshowers.com. is a bit the couch surfing, but for bicycle. And you have people all around the world, a lot in Europe, and they welcome you for free in their home, and they treat you as a friend, preparing you a meal, a room. And as you share a common interest for cycling, you have so many things to say, to share. So we met some beautiful souls and people. This was Roman, for example, in Germany. This was, on the top left corner is a family in Georgia. They were celebrating a birthday, and they saw us cycling, and they welcomed us to the birthday party. So that was really nice. Some people in Slovakia, a retired couple here in France. So if you like to meet people, is maybe one of the best ways to go for long distance cycling. And for sure that one of the key elements for us to break the ice was to carry the Nón Lá. So these 2 Nón Lá, we bought them in Vietnam before the trip, and we carried them all the way behind the bicycles. And I think if you go for this kind of this bicycle trip or world trip or whatever, always try to find a little something to make yourself different and to trigger the other people attention so that they will come to you. For example, in these hats, in many people, they wanted to try it. So in Georgia, for example, this guy Okrobir, who welcomed us into his home. Some kids in Azerbaijan. In Azerbaijan, people were crazy with Nón Lá. We were stopped every 1 hour. Some people stopped with the car and wanted to take pictures, selfie, blah blah. I think it's because there's a video game called Mortal Kombat, and there's a guy with this Nón Lá hat in the video game. So I think that's why. So many people they tried it in India, in Iran. So yeah, there was a beautiful, I think, tool to link all of these people. And also it raised a lot of interest for Vietnam. They will ask a lot about Vietnam. And yeah, that was also a great opportunity to introduce Vietnam. So yeah, this was our little home for 1 year. So now it's in Vietnam with us. Hopefully we don't sleep under it anymore, but hopefully one day. So as I said, it is the best mix between the weight, the sustainability, and the price. So this one is called MSR Uba Uba, and very easy to install and very, very strong, even during some storms. So for example, I will show you what happened. It was in Bulgaria when we camped in the mountains, and this is the vision we had inside the tent at the time. No, sorry, this first video is just to show you how we set up the tent. So yeah, just a small display. So yeah, we set up the tent. Lea, she will start to cook what we have, and then I will assist for the cooking. So yeah, again, amazing, just the nature, cooking together, enjoying the birds, and sometimes seeing wild animals. So this was in Bulgaria. So yeah, to have this kind of sunlight is a priceless. Yeah, on the left, I had to put the footprint. So with the high grass, I have to make it flat. So I was playing like a kid. So yeah, this one, the tent set up. Yeah.
Can I ask?
Raise your hand.
Yes. Can I ask? I'm curious about the. So you say that you guys cooked along the way. Did you prepare some food, or you just get whatever on the way?
Yeah, I mean, it depends. If we knew on the road that we knew that we had no supply for the next 4 or 5 days, we would order a lot of food in advance in the city or a village. But if we see, if we could see there are small villages and stuff, we would take less food. But for example, let's say in Vietnam, you can find food basically everywhere. I mean, before the lockdown for sure. But for example, in Vietnam, we didn't store any food because we knew we would stop. But funny enough, in Iran, at the beginning, we used to carry some food, but people, they offer us so much food every day, invited us so much that at the end, we didn't carry any food. I will show you after. So this one is in the lake, Paravani Lake in Georgia. So it's beautiful lake. Yeah, and super wild. In this part of Georgia, you have the feeling to be in Mongolia or Kazakhstan. It's beautiful. These were some nights in Iran. Yeah, in the middle of kind of desert. So maybe, you know, for the tents, also you have to select the right color, right? If it white was in the end not so good, because in the forests it's quite easy to see you, but in the desert in Iran it was quite good, because this white color was less difficult to see. And I would say a lot of people also, they're a bit scared, you know, to camp in the wild. They will say, people will come to attack us, or wild animals, or etc. But actually, if you make it the good way, if you select the right spots, nothing will happen, I think, to you. Because from the moment we left the road to the moment we set up the tent, I was always making sure that nobody would see us leaving the road or arriving to the point. So like this, you are sure nobody knows you there. Nobody will tell of a neighbor or whatever, and you're sure nobody will come in the night to ask you to leave or whatever. Yeah, so this is a small trick. So yeah, in the morning. So yeah, this was that famous night in Bulgaria where we had a huge storm coming, and we were under the tent at that time. So we could see the lights bulb, and with the wind. The wind was super strong, so we had to hold the tent with our hands, you know. And yeah, we see the. So a big storm was coming on us, and then you had like a wall of water that fell down on the tent, and it was like crazy. But in the end, we managed to stay dry. And in the following morning, everything was fine. Yeah, Lea was okay. And yeah, but the tent was surrounded by water. It was a pond. And this is another trick, another tip. Always, when you camp, always put your tent a bit above the ground. If not, if it rains a lot in the night, you will risk to be completely under the water. Yeah. So yeah, so let's talk about a country we really like to cycle in. To guess, maybe those who knows, please don't say, but those who have no clue, you can guess. So guess what is the next country we'll talk about?
Iran.
Okay. So yeah, you get it. So yeah, one of his famous bread is called sangak, as you can see. It's a delicious bread that you can only find in Iran. I will just come back to Iran with Lea to get this bread. It's amazing. So the population of Iran is 83 million people, and the language of Iran is Farsi. So it's not Arabic, it's Farsi. It's their own language. And yeah, it's the home of Persepolis, Shiraz. So it is Iran. So Iran, yeah, was the big piece of the cake for us in terms of adventure, feeling, people we met. It was something, yeah, so many things happen every day that it's really hard to sum up everything. But yeah, before arriving to Iran, yeah, we were asking ourselves a lot of questions about security. There are so many things different compared to France or Vietnam. Especially, for example, for women, you have to wear the scarf, the hijab, the Islamic clothes for Lea. You cannot bring the international credit cards like Visa, MasterCard doesn't work in Iran because of the ban of the US. So you can only bring in some cash. So you have to bring enough cash for all your time in Iran. So yeah, at the beginning, our family were a bit worried, especially Lea's family. Mine also, they were saying, "Are you sure you want to go to Iran?" I said, "Yeah, we will go, and we'll see what happens." And yeah, we don't regret we made this move. So let me explain. So yeah, from in Iran we became Layla and Mustafa. So Leila, and we chose this name. And so so on the left, it was the pictures we took to renew our visa. So it was a bit official, and we really looked like Iranian. Lea, she looked a bit like Indonesian or Malaysian, you know, not really Vietnamese. Yeah. And yeah,
to pretend to be somebody else with different name.
I think they just chose like a different name for nickname.
Yeah, we chose the names Lea, Leila, and me, Mustafa, because Afai was so different from my name. So,
sorry. I need to mute my.
And so and it was challenging for Lea to cycle with the hijab. You need always to be careful that it's well on your head. She had to cover her hips as well, so with a long cardigan. And me, always have to wear, long pants, so no short pants in Iran. So when it's really warm and humid, sometimes, especially in the north of the countries, it was a bit difficult. But what was amazing in Iran was the people, hospitality, their friendship, and their willingness to help you as much as they can. So, for example, that day we wake up in the morning, a car stopped. They gave us a watermelon. Then we cycle a few more kilometers. Another car stopped. They gave us some grapes. Then this guy on the left called Reza, he saw us from his fields. He was a farmer, and he took his motorbike to run after us and gave us some corn. So as I told you, we didn't have any food shortage in Iran. It was quite amazing. In Farsi they say that in Iran, in the culture, they say that the traveler or the visitor is the friend of God. So they will do their best to put you in the best conditions. So that was something amazing. So for example, we get some pistachio one day, or this guy in the trunk, he opened the trunk of his car and he gets some tea, bread. So it's amazing to have this kind of break during the day. And we really had a beautiful memory as well in a province called the Fars province, Fars, which is in the center of the country. And here you have a lot of nomadic people called the Qashqai. And so most of them used to be nomadic like this with their sheep or their goats with a tent, you can see. But now more and more they start to settle. So let me go to the next slide. So on that day, we were welcomed by a guy on the right of the picture called Reza. And we were just at the supermarket buying some food. And he said, where do you come from? Where do you go? And he said, for lunch, do you want to come to my home, And normally, like if a stranger like this comes to you and say, please come to my home, you will maybe say no, or what this guy wants from me or whatever. But after so many days on the road, and especially with Iranian people, we completely change our point of view, especially Lea, about this. So we immediately say yes, and we were welcomed by his family for a delicious meal. And his mother, called Zara, she was very impressed by Lea, a girl like this, Vietnamese, to cycle all the way. She was very, very impressed. So this is some of the food. Sabzi, it's delicious. You can look at it on Google. So after the lunch, he said, oh, guys, please have a nap, stay at home. We were supposed to continue, but we say, okay, for sure, thank you, we will take a nap. And then when Lea, she wake up, the mother Zara, she took us, the dress. It was a Qashqai wedding dress, and she really wanted Lea to try it on. So this was a very beautiful moment. So to have a Vietnamese girl trying the Qashqai traditional dress. So that was the result. Lea as a wedding Qashqai princess. With Reza, which is as well a fabulous man. And me as well, Mustafa, in the end, I had also the opportunity to try the traditional Farsi, traditional Qashqai wedding dress as well. Can you still hear me? See the screen? Everything is okay?
Yes, everything's good.
Okay. If you have any questions, please ask some questions, no problem. No question. Okay. So this was cycling in Iran. Especially we had to protect ourselves from the sun. The sun was super strong, especially in the center of the country, in the desert, where you have absolutely no shadow. You cannot hide from the sun. You know, there are no trees. So generally we would start before the dawn, and we will cycle. We'll have a big break at noon, and then cycle in the afternoon until dusk to avoid to have too much sun. And so, yeah, beautiful landscape everywhere. On the right picture, you can see it's called a caravanserai. This is the place where all the merchants many centuries ago used to stop with all their animals, their camels, to bring the spice, the goods from Asia to Europe. So also as bicycle travelers carrying all our stuff, we had a bit the same feeling when we get next to a caravanserai. And yeah, sometimes the road is very difficult, climbing up under the sun with no shadow. But again, we could always count on the Iranian people. You just have to wave at the car, and the guy will immediately stop and give you anything, water if you need water. So that's always something we were really grateful about. This is some of the pictures. Beautiful in the desert during the sunrise. We also cross a range of mountains in the center of Iran when we wanted to go to a small village, beautiful, called Abiane. It's a quite famous village with a lot of red house lost in the mountains. And to get there, it was quite difficult. We took a dirt track in the middle of the mountains. We didn't meet anyone for maybe 2 days, except donkeys. So there were some wild donkeys all the way. And we had a kind of small adventure with one of them. We share with you. So this was the road, a beautiful road, but nobody on the road, and no water as well. So yeah, at the end we were a bit stressed because we had not enough water, but hopefully we could find a fresh stream to get enough. Yeah. So yeah, we'll just show you the road. So this is the story with the donkey, sticking donkey. So yeah, this was Lea. Sorry, it's shaking a bit. So this was the donkey on the road, and Lea, she gave to the donkey a small chocolate, and this was a big mistake because then the donkey started to fall in love with us, right? And he started to follow us for many many kilometers. So we had the donkey. We had the donkey. You see on the video, the donkey was following us all the way. So he was, I think, really in love with Lea, and he could see me as a competitor, so he was not really happy with me. And I couldn't chase him away. Impossible to chase him away. You see, he didn't. He stopped, and then I had to chase him, like to run after him, to push him back until he really wanted. Because we were about to arrive in the village. So if we arrive in the village with the donkey, it would have been a bit sensible, I guess. So I managed to push him back, and then we cycled as fast as we could. And so yeah, hopefully we managed to get rid of the sticky donkey. And on the way back, the following day we took the road back. And the funny thing was that the donkey was next to his home, but with a rope around his neck. So I think the owner was not happy about it. Yeah. So this is the donkey story. So yeah, this is just a glimpse from Iran in terms of culture, landscapes. That was amazing to cross Iran, especially at the time. So yeah, if you have any question about Iran, please feel free to ask any question. We encounter some dangerous situation in Iran. I can share about it at the end of the presentation if you want.
I think there are two questions at the moment. I saw one from Jack. Where was Oh, okay, so probably Jack is mute now. Were you on the
sorry.
road?
On the
Silk Road.
Silk Road. A little part, I think, in Iran, but the main part of the Silk Road is more when you cross Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, in Samarkand and stuff. So at the beginning, we wanted to take this road, but as I said at the beginning of the presentation, we couldn't go to this part of the world because of the winter. It was arriving quite fast. So if we had gone to Kyrgyzstan and this not Yunnan, this part of China, I forget where the Uyghur lives, then we would have been stuck in the snow. Yeah. Okay.
3 more questions actually. One from Nguyen from Andor and Jack. You can unmute and ask Thibault if you want.
Yeah. Let me see. Who wants to ask?
I think Jack has another question.
Jack.
So did you use a life straw for the freshwater streams?
Yeah, we got it's called a Sawyer. It's like you put the water in the bag and then you press it through the device, and yeah, so that's the thing we use. It's really small, really light, and it's called Sawyer, SEWYER. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I'm wondering why you had to change your name, not really change, but use different names in Iran. Is that legal requirement or cultural requirement?
No, it was just for fun, just to be a part even more of the country, and as well when we talk with Iranian and we share our Iranian name, he make them laugh a lot. Yeah.
I see.
Hin, can you hear us? Maybe some cannot. I see Hin in the chat. He say cannot hear me. Everybody can hear me. Yeah.
Yes, we can.
Okay.
I actually really love the wedding photos. Not really wedding, but like the photos of you and Lea in the wedding costumes. So did you do any kind of like ceremony, or did they kind of like help you to do any wedding ceremony in like Iran wedding ceremony or something?
No. It was just for us to try on the clothes, and yeah, we were married already, so.
Yeah, I know, but just for fun, just curious.
Yeah. And then if you want to get married in Iran, you have to turn yourself into to Muslim religion. So we are not still ready for that. Yeah. Yeah. Any other question for Iran?
Did you see any snakes? I think Nguyen, that was a question from Nguyen.
Lea, she was one of the phobia of Lea is snakes, but we didn't see in Iran. But yeah, we saw one here in India, and we get some in Laos on the road, crossing the roads. In Nepal, I think a lot in Nepal. So yeah, you have to be careful where you step up, and especially in the morning if you sleep under the tent. Be always sure all your bags are well closed, if possible, inside your tent. And also always check your shoes, because the animals can get into your shoes. It can be a scorpio, a snake, whatever. So what was it in Laos? I got a frog in my shoe. So when I put my foot in the shoe, I felt something jelly and cold. It was a frog. Hopefully I didn't kill it. And one night in Iran, a mouse managed to get inside the luggage, and so we only saw the mouse maybe a few hours later when we opened the bags.
Mm.
Yeah.
Felix can relate to your story about the mouse in his bag.
Yeah, he had some adventure this way.
Yeah, but just living in his apartment in Ho Chi Minh City ended up in his bag.
Just as a roommate. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it for Iran. So after, yeah, we took this flight from Iran to India. I will go a bit more quickly because we are almost at the end of this presentation. But yeah, we took this flight to India. So it was a big move because we were used to go slowly from one country to one country. And when you take the plane and within 24 hours, you change from Iran to India, it's two different civilizations. The cultural shock was quite big, especially when you start to cycle in Delhi with a million and million of people. So yeah, India was super tiring. People were nice, but so tiring because anywhere you go, people will gather around you asking for pictures, just watch you doing whatever you do. Sometimes we were just cooking and there was one guy coming, then 20, 30, 40. So it's fun for the first day, but in the end, it's really tiring, you know? You don't have any seconds for yourself. So that was the traffic in India. A bit like Vietnam, nothing.
And Thibault?
Right.
How many days did you stay in India? Did you stay in India?
Yeah, we stayed, from the moment, we had 2 times in India, from Delhi to Nepal. This last maybe 2 weeks. And then we came back from Nepal to Northeast India, maybe for 2 weeks or 3 weeks in Northeast India. But Northeast India is completely different from the India we know from Bollywood or in the movies. People there, they look much more like Southeast Asian, and they are much more relaxed. You can cycle without being stopped every 10 meters. So it's very different, India. Very beautiful as well, with a lot of minorities. So if you want to travel there one day, I really advise you to go because there is a big diversity in terms of people, food, landscapes. It's very interesting.
Okay.
Oh, so it's India. Yeah, we had some also beautiful moments. My brother, he came, brother Amaury, he's younger than me, maybe with his long beard you cannot see, but he came to cycle with us from India to Nepal. So to have him with us was also something really beautiful. And yeah, we celebrated Diwali, which is one of the most important festivals for the Indian and Nepalese. So yeah, we are greeted with a lot of dance, flowers, many things. This was in Laos. So no, this was in Nepal, sorry, with a lot of mountains. So eventually, sometimes I was helping Lea when she was tired, pushing her as much as I could in this kind of climbs. But she was super strong, super brave to go through all these mountains, again, with no experience at all at the beginning. So I used to say she was the real hero or of this adventure, for sure. She was the big one. So yeah, like for example, crossing this bridge, this was in Nepal. But yeah, everything was going well until Northeast India. We had no accident, nothing bad, until yeah, we started to have some problems. So first, it was a food poisoning for Lea in Northeast India. So we were in the middle of the jungle, and hopefully we managed to reach this small hospital on the top of the mountain. And in this hospital, you had like all these fabulous guys you can see on the picture, and they welcome us as a friend or family during those days together, cooking for us, taking care of us and Lea. So especially in cycling, any bad moment can turn into gold, especially with the people you will meet. So then Lea, she managed to get back on the bicycle after this food poisoning. Then we could reach Myanmar, Burma. And then second issue, she had a sprained ankle. She missed a step in a small guest house in Myanmar. So we had to stop cycling maybe for 2-3 weeks because he was really swollen. So at that time, we thought maybe we would stop the trip, but in the end, he get better, and she was really strong physically and mentally to keep going on, you know. So then we cycled through Thailand. So you could see Lea's foot with the bandage because she still had her sprained ankle. I mean, he was healing at the time. Yeah. And then we crossed Laos, and eventually we managed to reach the Vietnamese border at Dien Bien Phu. And at that time we really thought, yeah, come on, we back to Vietnam, back home. But at that time, Corona was the beginning of Corona, like in January, February 2020. And then to cycle from north to south of Vietnam was really, really challenging because nobody wanted to welcome us in a guest house. So we had to camp or to find alternatives to find a way to sleep or to camp. So this was the arrival in Vietnam. So yeah, there was amazing feeling to have been all the way from France to Vietnam and to finally reach Vietnam. Like the feeling of accomplishment is amazing. So yeah, in Vietnam, as I told you, many times because of Corona, we couldn't stop at any guest house, so we had to find a way to camp. And in Vietnam, it's super challenging because you have people everywhere. So, as you know, so to find the right spot to camp sometimes was really difficult. And yeah, finally we could see Lea's family. We had to stop the trip in Nha Trang because at that time the provinces of Ninh Thuan, Binh Thuan, they were closed. So her parents decided to drive and pick us up. So yeah, very emotional time to see finally the parents after 1 year, all this adventure together. And then we had this kind of lockdown in Vũng Tàu, where Lea's family is living. And finally, in May 2020, we could cycle the final stretch of the journey from Vũng Tàu to Saigon. So the last kilometers to reach the 16,000 kilometers. So this was the final day. So again, a lot of emotions to finally arrive in Saigon. Yeah, so I want to share. Yeah, so in total, we managed to cycle more than 16,000 kilometers. That was the target. So yeah, I was really happy that we get so close in the end from what I could see at the beginning. And yeah, we received a lot of donations from all around the world, from Vietnam, France, Australia, Iran, whatever. And so many nice messages. This was also one of the key things during this trip, that when people, they believe in what you do, they're really willing to support you. And we receive amazing messages on the donation page to cheer us, to say to keep going on, especially in the bad moments. You know, sometimes you have some bad days, you want maybe to stop or whatever. But when we seen all the messages, the donations, we couldn't stop. It was impossible. We had to finish the trip, whatever happened, you know. So this was really important. So yeah, and now so after all this trip and all these adventures, we managed to write the book. So with some of the picture you've seen, some of picture you didn't see yet, you haven't seen yet, and also a lot of stories that I cannot share with you now because I don't have enough time. But yeah, we put a lot of time and energy in his book, and it will be available on the 6th of October. So yeah, and I made so the proofread was made by the English speaker, so you will be sure that the English is perfect, not like mine. Can you still hear me? Yeah. And yeah, I just wanted to finish with a quote from Camus. Camus is a French philosopher, and I think it sums up pretty well this trip, and maybe it can open some doors for you as well. He say, yeah, man is nothing by himself, is but an infinite chance, but he is infinitely responsible for that chance. And I think that's the message I would like to convey is that we seems very tiny in this world or in the universe or whatever. We are in this infinite chance to exist, to get born, to be born one day, but you are infinitely responsible for what you're gonna do with your life. So yeah, you have to make the best out of it. So based on your dream, what you want to do, you have to just go for it. No excuse, right? That's all. That's my my point. Yeah. So that's all. That's all, guys.
Oh, yeah, BG.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Excellent trip.
Lea.
Where is Lea?
Yeah, Lea.
But where is Lea?
We got a few questions actually from V.
Hello. Well, hello here. Actually, I meet you guys in Da Nang City. I just received your SMS, and after on told we prepare a room for you guys. But when I received, really, I text to Tara, and after that, one day after I received you, I bus to Quảng Nam City. I really feel you guys.
Yeah. Thank you.
So I hope I and my friends hope to see you guys one day, because he is from France and we love traveling, and you know, so I and him are always follow your traveling, so we hope to see you guys in one day soon.
Yeah,
also,
we'll meet. Yeah. Also, we'll meet.
And I also have a question about the about the scare in research or why the place. So how do you feel, and what should we prepare to think before we enter the why or research place?
The desert.
Yeah.
You mean, like, for example, desert in Iran? Yeah, for sure. You need to know exactly the number of kilometers you will have to cycle. So you really need to double check very carefully the roads you will take, to ask local people if it's possible, to be sure you don't get into something you cannot get out, you know. So this is the first thing, to be sure the way you're gonna take is suitable for you. And second, it's just to have a lot of water, extra water in case. Protect well your skin. Water, food, protect your skin, and basically it's fine. And as I told you, to cycle under the outside of the noon time, so very early in the morning, even if it's still the night. This is the way.
Merci beaucoup.
De rien.
Thibault, I have a question.
Yeah.
Was it complicated to stop pedaling when you started your trip 1 year ago? Because you make some bicycle every day. So, and one day you stop. Was it strange to stop or not really?
Yeah. It's really, I mean, somehow it's really strange, because you have this physical activity, right? Like at some point it even becomes a drug, you know, because your body needs it. Because like, I remember when we used to stop to make a visa, for example, in Iran for 1 week or 2 weeks in Bulgaria. Then when you cannot stand, like, you really want to go back on the bicycle. But it's been a very strange momentum, because after 1 year on the road, and now it's been almost 1 year not really moving because of distancing, lockdown. For sure, the feeling is really different. But we are so grateful for what happened, that, you know, it helped us to overcome this kind of situation.
So Thibault, I have a few questions. So this was like a year-long trip, right? How do you feel like you or Lea changed as individuals or as a couple from sort of the beginning to the end, you know? If you had to take a snapshot of yourself, like how are you guys different?
For sure. I mean, yeah, no, I think we evolved quite a lot. Again, like we understood that it was a bit the quote of Camus, is that like when you create this kind of positive circle, you know, when you go for this kind of adventure, positive thinking, it will attract a lot of positive people. All these people we've met on the road with so good intentions, all these people willing to donate or whatever. So my point is like, don't wait someone to show you the way. I mean, just start. At some point, start to do the thing you like or the way you want to change. And if you are really passionate in it, like a lot of people will gather around you to support you or even bring you some new opportunities. So this was one of the key takeaways, for sure. And for Lea, for her, I would say that, yeah, she had no experience of adventure or even sleeping at a stranger's place. So that I remember that at the beginning, even in France, when some strangers were welcoming us into their home, she was so surprised and grateful for that. So now I think she's opening herself to other people, even stranger, much more, and willing to help and understand them much more than before. And for sure, as a couple, the experience we had, all the feelings on the roads, it really made us stronger. I think after wedding, it was a good test. Maybe we should have done it before, but yeah, for us, I mean, now we feel, yeah, in the difficult moments, we take it as a climb in the mountain. You know, you have to go, you have no choice, you support each other until you reach the top of the mountain, and then you will have the nice descent together. So that's a bit, even in our life now, when we face trouble, we know we have to stick together. If you fall apart, then you cannot do this way, right?
Yeah.
So this is the key. But we never had, actually, during this year on the road, we never had big arguments. It's always like, sometimes maybe you are a bit tired and you will, have some little things, but we never had a huge argument where we wanted to split or stop the trip or whatever. So this is something also really important.
You have a favorite place or memory?
Oh, so many, but in terms of
Iran, no?
In terms of country, there are two countries. There is Iran and Georgia. I can show you one more screenshots about, let me check. Jack entered the room. Okay, screenshots. Let me share with you one screenshot. Can you see my screen now? No.
Yes.
Yes.
Georgia.
Yeah, this was in Georgia. So I will just come back from the slides. Where is it? Georgia. Yeah, Georgia is beautiful. It's a small country that not so many people know about. When you check Georgia on Google, you will find a Georgia state in the US. But but Georgia is amazing in terms of culture, landscapes. You cycle 20 kilometers and you have different landscapes because it's between sea, desert, mountains. So the diversity in terms of people, food and landscapes is amazing, and people are super nice, super welcoming. As I told you, they invited us for this wedding, for this birthday dinner. Many times they offer some bread. This was Georgia. To cycle was amazing because you are 100% free, relax on the road. You just have to cycle, enjoy the landscapes. This was amazing. For example, here you can see it's like in the mountains, and you have all it's cows, wild cows. So thousands and thousands and thousands, and nobody around. So that's quite amazing. Yeah. So yeah, if you can go to Iran, Georgia, please go.
Nice. Thank you. Yes.
That's a nice picture.
Kissing in Germany.
Germany, yeah.
So any other question.
What artifacts do you have from Iran that you can show?
Other facts?
Artifacts, like something that you brought back from the country. Souvenirs.
Like memory. Yeah. Or so many. One country which is so challenging to cycle is Myanmar, Burma. The reason is you can only stay during the night at a registered hotel for foreigners, right? So you cannot camp, you cannot be welcomed by the locals. And in Myanmar, I remember like in the north west of the country, the distance between two guest houses sometimes is more than 200 km. So it's impossible to, with mountains between. So you won't be able to make it. So you have two possibilities. You knock to the temple and ask the guys if you can sleep there, with the risk that the police will come in the night to ask you to leave, which happened 1 or 2 times. Also, or you wait for the night to come and you just leave the road and put your tent in the forest, and you wait for the next day in the early morning to leave. Yeah, this is very super tiring, because when you don't know where you will sleep in tonight, the main question when we cycle is where I will sleep tonight. When you know where you will sleep tonight, it removes a lot of stress and energy, because you will manage your day around that, right? But when you don't know where to sleep, it's super stressful. So that specific moment when we stay in a pagoda in Myanmar, the monk, he was a bit experienced, so I think the police wouldn't dare to come. So he said, yeah, you can stay there. And he let us sleeping in a big pagoda inside, and there were maybe 2 or 3 other monks. And then came the sunset, and they started to go for the prayers, just the 3 or 4 of them. It was beautiful song, and we were in the middle of the pagoda. And then in the end, one of the youngest monk, he just hit the gong, with the iron stick or whatever. And then the sound he made, like maybe 3 or 4 percussions, but the harmony and the symphony he managed to make was beautiful. I mean, I will remember all my life. So to have the chance to sleep there and to live in life this situation, just us and the 4 monks, was something unforgettable. Yeah.
I think his question was, did you have any souvenirs, or like, did you bring any stuff or things back from these countries?
Yeah. We get some.
I'd say that was one for sure. but yes,
some tangible souvenirs. You mean something?
Yeah.
We get what in the Northeast India. You have a lot of local tribes, and they have their own necklace. So they offer us some necklaces. And also we get in Assam, also in Northeast India, they offer us a kind of typical scarf that we kept. What else? Some small presents, right? Too many. So
did you by chance think, when you were going through each country, to bring something of your origin or of Vietnamese origin for them to kind of share experiences? From culture to culture.
Yeah, the thing we had, it was Nón Lá, for sure.
Yeah. Pictures of Nón Lá.
And we had the coffee filter, Vietnamese coffee filter, to show about Vietnam. And we had the kind of Vietnamese flip-flop, like the white one, with the holes.
Really?
That one. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And Lea, she brought Ao Dai. So this was special as well.
Nice.
All the way.
Did you make it to cook any Vietnamese food for the people in your house?
Yeah, it depends if you can find the ingredients. Yes, but it was to my one of my friends living in Munich. He welcomed us for one night, and then we cook Lea, and we cook for him bumbo and buntit nung. And so it was funny because we went to the local store and they were Vietnamese, and as they saw that Lea, she was Vietnamese, they gave us like 10% discount. So it was funny.
That's a thing.
And there was a big community of Vietnamese in Czech Republic, and eventually we stopped in one village, and our host was a teacher for two of these families. They had kids, and so we went to visit them. Both families had a small market, and when we reached the trip, and they say everything was like a cream cookie, whatever, and one of them, she even wanted to give us some perfume. So yeah, some funny thing like this when we met some Vietnamese.
Awesome.
You didn't think of bringing anything French with you along the way?
No, I guess couldn't cheese difficult in terms of conditions. But yeah, I should. We just had a French flag in the Vietnam.
I have a random question. Sorry, you guys speak to each other in English?
Maybe people lost the internet connection because he like frozen.
Oh, oh yeah, Thibault. I'm not sure he's still there. Are you still there?
Hello?
Hardly there.
Hardly there.
Yeah.
Let me check.
Sounds better now.
Yeah.
Good. Is he back? Are you back?
Hello?
Okay, we hear you, I think.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Hello?
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, did you hear? My question was.
Yeah. We
speaking
talk
to each other
in, usually speaking, we talk in English for everyday life. As we say, we talk about, when we talk about love, we talk in French. And when we get arguments, we talk in Vietnamese.
Oh, that's a joke. Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, most of the time in English.
Okay.
That is awesome. I guess, is there any other questions for Thibault?
I have a question about about the water, because I know when you ride bicycle, you you need to drink a lot of water.
Yeah.
So how do you manage to have the water, or like, let's say sometimes you have to arriving somewhere like in the desert or something, like how you manage?
But we had the classical, just a small bottle of water that you put under your bicycle. I mean, we had one extra, so each of us, we carry 1.5 liters. But on the top of that, we had the big, I think 5-6 liters bags, water bags. So if we we would cross the desert, we would fill them for sure, buy more water to be sure we won't get any shortage. And as I shared already with Jack, we had also a small water filter to be sure, like if we find some stream water, to be sure we could drink the water. Yeah.
I'm wondering about the fundraising kind of like aspect of this project. So how did it work? Like, for example, you have like a third party or organization that commits like to donate like, $1 for every kilometer that you've been through, or you kind of like raising funds with the people that you've met along the way, or how does it work?
No, it was mostly thanks to individual people. We had some company like Nike, they gave some money, but mostly it was individual people who follow us on the social media. And especially when we get close to Vietnam, we started to have a lot of audience in the Vietnamese media, on the TV. We were broadcasted on a show for all this charity stuff. So then a lot of people, they started to give online. But all the money was directly given to the NGO for the school. I mean, we were not in between.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was really cool. And again, every time the people share, they could leave us a message. So especially the message were beautiful. Many of them were really beautiful.
Any future plans to have like another bike trip for another cause, or?
Yeah, we hope. Yeah, we really hope to experience these feelings again and even more. For sure, yeah. I think bicycle is definitely for us the best way to travel. And when it's possible, we hope someday to cycle through South America and some country like Mongolia, Kyrgyzstan. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, the fact we went from France to Vietnam, we have sometimes, you don't have the choice, like you cross some regions sometimes that were difficult, as they're very boring, like flat or bad roads or nothing really to see. Sometimes we cycle nonstop, but you didn't have good feeling, because there is not much. There's dogs chasing you, So I think, yeah, for next trip, we maybe shorter trips, but more selective in terms of destination. And yeah, and one funny anecdote, like in Azerbaijan, there was a dog chasing Lea, a big one, big dog chasing Lea, and behind us there was a police car, and he was arriving at the time. In Azerbaijan, they have very fancy kind of Bentley or BMW police car, and he saw that the dog was chasing Lea, so he started to drive behind us and to put the sirens, the lights, and then he did a kind of drift on the side of the road to throw some stone, with his car on the dog, and then the dog completely disappeared. And then they say hello through the window of the car and just left.
So they was helping you get rid of the dog.
Yeah, completely. And Azerbaijan, another time we were just having a kind of a lunch under a bus stop, and we were really looking a bit homeless, tired, dirty. And then another car of cops just passed in front of us and slowed down. And we thought, oh, he's going to ask us to leave or blah, blah, blah. And then 1 minute after, there is a kid coming to us with a big watermelon. And actually, it was the cop. He went to ask the kid he pay for a watermelon for us. So you see, it's just a funny, nice stories with the police there.
That's so cool. I think you say it's boring, but I think animal chasing you is also an interesting part of this.
Yeah, it gives a bit of spice for the day. In Azerbaijan, this kind of region, Turkey, you have shepherd dogs called Kangal, and these dogs are huge. They look like lions, and they are super aggressive. Like you don't want to mess up with them.
You say lion. They look like lion.
You can look at Kangal. I think his name is like this, but they are very strong, powerful dogs, and they are always in groups. So they are 4, 5, 6, 7. So when they start to surround you, it's a bit stressful for sure.
What's your favorite photo of the trip?
Oh, I think maybe, I'm not sure I put this one in the presentation. I think is we use this one to celebrate our 8,000 kilometers. Like we hug each other in Iran. We have the 2 huts and the 2 bicycles, and behind you have the mountains. And yeah, the symmetry of the picture and the fact we were halfway of the trip with the Nón Lá and stuff, I think is a powerful one. Yeah.
I think we saw it in the presentation.
Maybe.
Yeah, so nice, very beautiful one.
How long did it take you to plan for this trip? Like from when you have the idea until like the first day that you really embarked on the trip?
From the moment I decided to quit my job to the beginning of the trip, maybe I would say 5 or 6 months, to train. So it was rather short, but it was enough. For this kind of bicycle trip, except for the gears and the route you're gonna take, you cannot physically prepare that much. Your body will adapt, and you will also grow experience as you cycle. So some people, they ask me, how can I train? How should I go? I just say somehow just find a way to start, and you will manage all along the way to gain some muscles, experience, or whatever. Yeah.
You make a break for some weeks during your trip?
Yes. Yeah. Sometimes it's so important to give your body a break, because you cycling every day from morning to the evening is not something usual. So sometimes you ask a lot to your body for 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then you feel it's time to rest. And this is the time you really need to rest for a few days. And on these days, you just sleep, you do not think much. And we see the opportunity of a visa, for example, in Bulgaria for Iran, 2 weeks, so we could, we have enough time to rest. But yeah, if you don't rest and you keep going on, it's where you can get some injuries, or you will have less concentration on the road. Actually, the main risk is not being robbed or whatever, is to have a traffic accident. This truck which won't see you, or this car that won't see you as well. So you need to be super cautious with traffic. Yeah.
Yeah, so you advise us Georgia or Iran, but are there any countries that really you don't advise us to make with bicycle, because it's not a country for bicycle?
We say, I mean, for us with Lea, the country we really didn't like was Hungary. In terms of road, people, it was full at that time. Also, it was full of mosquitoes. So anytime we go, you couldn't stop even cycling, otherwise mosquitoes were chasing you, and people were not super friendly in Hungary. So yeah, Hungary, and which country, Lea? Where? India. Yeah, North India. It was fun for a few days, but it was too tough.
For 8 hours.
And I would say, I mean, generally speaking, Southeast Asia is not optimal for cycling. The reason is very humid. So whenever you cycle or you cross a mountain, you will sweat, like all the water of your body. So after a few hours, you will be, you will get all the dust, get super sticky. Whereas like while in Iran or in Europe, the weather is much more drier. So you can cycle and no sweat. So it's more comfortable, I think.
Thibault, did you meet a lot of riders like you doing actually a similar trip? Probably not as long, but crossing a country. Did you meet several people doing a similar experience?
Yeah. It's actually from France to Laos, not so many. Maybe I would say, I don't know, 10 or 12. And then in Laos, I don't know why, it was the high season and the road we took, but we crossed maybe 4, 5 or 6 every day from Vientiane to Luang Prabang, because this road is quite beautiful, and I think many people like to take it. But it's amazing when you meet another traveler like you. Either when you go the same way, we met a very nice girl on the boat from Georgia from Bulgaria to Georgia, Fanny from Switzerland. And we decided to cycle together for 10 days. And it was some of the best days of the trip, because she was super cheerful, and we shared came together, and now we are friends forever, for sure. And also when you meet someone coming the other way, because you did the road he's going to take, and he cycled the road you will do. So you change a lot of tips. And I don't know, as cyclists, you like to compare your gears. So you say, what do you have? What is your tent, your bicycle? It's always the same talks. Okay, guys.
Okay, thank you,
Thibault.
Thibault.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining. It was really, really nice.
Thank you.
And if you have some little time, don't forget, if you want to give a small donation to stay home together to help, any amount is fine. And hope for those who will buy the book will like it. Again, many more stories inside. And please stay strong during this lockdown. Not easy. And
and so Rossi, are you going to share with us a link to do a donation for the package that you are delivering to families?
I could share it in the chat box, or you could
Do
also
you have that on your page?
or on the event page. You will see
okay,
information
wonderful.
in the events.
Wonderful. I would check that.
We
Wonderful.
will also have another event called the Saigon Lockdown Kindness Charity. So it's like an event where we report all of the donation from different events and what the activity, what we're doing into that event. So you can see what we're doing with all the donations and who we help.
That would be good.
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. Thanks again, Thibault. Thanks for everyone. Good to see you.
Thank you for joining, guys.
Bye bye.
See you in real life soon, hopefully.
Yes.
Thanks,
Thanks, Felix.
Thanks, everyone.
For your donations.
You're welcome. Bye.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good night.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you for joining.